Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Ether Hub. I'm Simon, bringing you more Magic the Gathering lore. It's Friday night, and that means it's Friday Night Lore. We haven't done one of these in a while, so let's go over what makes Friday Night Lore different from any of my other videos. You'll of course get the same story you love and that you came here for, but you'll also have a chance to win a free card featured in the video itself. Stick around and learn how to enter at the end or in the description below. In this chapter of Crimson Vows story, we again focus on our ragtag group of heroes who now look to infiltrate the wedding of Olivia Voldaren and put an end to her plans of becoming Lord of Innistrad. The Planeswalkers Arlen, Kaya, Chandra, Teferi, and Sorin Markov gather outside the estate with a small force of witches and Cathars looking to crash a wedding. Will they be successful, or will love prevail? Don't forget, if you're enjoying the video, guys, to like, comment, subscribe, and share it with friends. It all goes a long way in growing this community. If you need a recap on the Crimson Vows story so far, you can find links to the previous chapters on your screen right now, or down in the description below. And with that, let's continue with the Crimson Vows story written by Arsenault, Rivera, Chapter 5, by invitation only. Chandra Looks walks face first into danger. That's her usual routine. It usually works. Tonight, as she tries to walk past the guards outside the Voldaren estate, it doesn't. Instead, Teferi grabs her by the shoulders just as a bird flies into the wall. Whatever magic they've got incinerates it right then and there. Crumbles of bird-shaped ash fall where it made contact. Well, I guess that's not going to work, Chandra says. Adeline stifles a laugh, which almost makes the whole thing worth it. Chandra hasn't heard her laugh in a while. With some bitterness, she glances to the towering guards on either side of the gate. It isn't their fault directly, but they were part of the problem. Coming right to the front gates was Arlen's idea. If there was a wedding going on, and if they showed up in a small group with Sorin, then maybe they'd be let in. Chandra thought it was stupid from the get-go. Who ever heard of letting the enemy waltz right into their operation just because they came in fancy dress? But Sorin thought it was worth a shot too, so here they were. But as far as she's concerned, the right answer here is to light the whole thing on fire. The guards will scatter or else they'll get caught, and they can fight this out. This was do or die time on Innistrad. On the way here, their group rallied whomever they could to join up. Turns out it's a lot easier to do when there's a plan, and when that plan involves crashing a vampire party. There's a lot of anger out there on the moors and on the cliffs. A lot of fire just looking for something to consume. Chandra knows all about that. The ranks of mounted Cathars lying in wait will charge right in. Sigurdian priests will start their chants, bright prayer wrapping about the gathered townsfolk like wings of an angel. And that will be that. There'll be no hope for any of the vampires. Scoop up the Moonsilver Key and go. But when things seem simplest to her, they're often more complicated to everyone else. Looking on the faces of her companions, only the 5 of them, the rest concealed not far off, she gets the feeling that must be the case here too, especially Sorin. He looks like someone slipped vinegar into his serving of blood, which is impressive given that she didn't think he could possibly look any more sour. First time for everything, she supposes. No one enters without an invitation, the guard says. Olivia Voldaren must have selected 2 vampires whose voices could perfectly harmonize just for this job. Because they do, and it's the most sonorous dismissal in all of Innistrad. What about if we all come in with him? Arlen asks. She looks handsome in her wedding outfit, but then she looks handsome in most things. Still, she's got excellent taste, a well-tailored oxblood jerkin, sprigs of birch embroidered at the collar, her red slashed sleeves ending in fresh pressed white cuffs, a fur mantle worn over one shoulder adds a woodsy touch. Knowing her, she probably took down the bear herself. It is nice to see her all cleaned up, like seeing your favorite aunt at a party. He has an invitation. 1 person per invitation, the guards intone together. But that doesn't make any sense, Chandra says. Not even a +1? You can definitely afford to let more people in, says Kaya, gesturing at their gilded armor. It isn't a matter of scarcity. And if you want to make sure all of Innistrad bows to its new lady, then you need investment from everyone, says Arlen. You're just inviting vampires. It's bad form, agrees Teferi. One person per invitation. Chandra wants to scream. The answer's so simple, just go in, right? Just go in. But there are wards all around the place. Wards the witches haven't been able to crack and the priests haven't been able to dispel. The vampire army is there as well, all along the watchtowers, waiting for any sign of unrest. Who knows how many of them have magic of their own? Who knows how hungry they are? Sure, Arlen and Adeline managed to put together a small army's worth of people, but was everyone ready to come to blows here, right now? As much as Chandra wants to fight, she can't ignore the cost of it out in the open like this. Without the key, or the immediate hope of the key, it's going to end just like the Harvesttide massacre. That day carved itself into her mind, and the scar of it will remain for years, she's sure. The bodies laying out in the balmy orange of a setting sun, their blood red as cranberry wine, seeping into the festive costumes they spent so much time putting together. Dressing as werewolves and vampires was meant to be an act of defiance. To see their bodies lying broken instead, well, battlefields were sickening enough on their own. But these were innocent people, barely grown some of them. And when she thinks of them, no, they can't just walk in. Maybe Adeline knows what she's thinking. The Cathar's hand is a comforting weight on Chandra's shoulder, as if the faint smell of leather that always announces her presence. The parade armor she's wearing is swoon-worthy enough, engraved with Abyssinian symbols, but she always smells so good too. Patience rewards the virtuous, she says, but I admit, it's difficult sometimes to be virtuous. Tell me about it, says Chandra. Best not to let it linger. Real shame though. Here we are, both looking sharp with nowhere to go. I was promised a party. A party? Is that all this is? The deep voice hits like a punch to the ribs. Chandra doesn't flinch. In some sense, she's happy he's finally paying attention to the world around him instead of brooding. I mean, it isn't just a party, she says. I'm trying to lighten the mood, Sorin. I'm certain this is all a fun romp for you, Nalar, but I'll remind you, there are adults present, said Sorin. Some of the adults could use a laugh, Teferi says. Chandra's proven herself time and again. She's earned the right to joke around. This isn't her home plane either. She could have ignored the summons and left after Harvesttide, but she's here. Sorin looked down at the invitation in his hands. He furrowed his brow. Chandra thought he looked just like a moody old portrait, which made her laugh, because he'd hate to hear that. She was at least quick enough to bite her lip to stifle it. No matter how ridiculous Sorin is as a person, or how much she might dislike him, it's hard to imagine what she'd be feeling in this situation. Will you be alright in there alone? Arlen asks him. I can try to follow you, Kaya offers. It's a funny thought, a little ghost Kaya hovering around the sullen Sorin. Chandra knows it doesn't work that way. Kaya isn't really a ghost, so at most she'd be following behind him at full size. Still, somehow the image feels right. But what feels right too is the way he sighs and shakes his head. I've been alone for centuries, he says. This will be no different. She wants to ask him what he means because he won't be alone. He's related to a bunch of people in that place. Must be someone in there he likes, right? But as he strides between the guards, Sorin doesn't have the air of a man who likes anyone. And there you guys go, Chapter 5 of Crimson Vow Story. A full-scale attack is out of the question as powerful magic and vampires alike stand guard over the ritual that's gonna cement Olivia Voldaren as Lord of Innistrad. Sorin, disgruntled as he may be, walks into the Lion's Den alone as he's the only one invited to this grand event. Clearly, Olivia is trying to humiliate Sorin further with this invitation. He obviously is going to cause a scene, but Olivia just can't resist the chance to rub her victory in her new step-grandson's face, which, as I say it, just doesn't come off the tongue cleanly, you know? Anyway, this is Friday Night Lore, and if you've stuck through the video for this long, then it's time to learn what card is up for grabs in this week's giveaway. We got a little insight from all the Planeswalkers in this story, but as Sorin is going at it alone, he seems a better fit than most as this week's FNL prize. I don't have access to the new Sorin the Mirthless card yet, so this FNL prize will be the OG Sorin Markov. To enter for your chance to win, you must be a subscriber, like this video, as well as leave a comment. I will choose a random comment from this video to be the winner and announce them in the next chapter of Crimson Vow's story. So make sure you join in next time to see if you're a winner. Anyway guys, we have more Crimson Vow story coming to the channel soon, so don't forget to subscribe and tick that notification bell so you never miss a new release. I keep my content free for you guys, so if you enjoy it, please consider supporting the channel's growth by liking and sharing the video with your friends. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, see ya!